Oh, hey everybody. So I've made a video like this before in the past, but I just wanted to make another one because this is kind of feels like it's a new start on the channel almost with these last few hundred videos that I've done. So it seems like it only makes sense to do this again. I make a lot of positive videos on here, and if I'm angry, I'll make maybe a not so positive video. But it's still positive. I think it's just because you're angry. There's a time for anger. There's a time for everything. Okay. There's even a time for murder, like self-defense. Like it's a time for murder. Not everything is bad just because of the word it's been given. Like murder is not always bad. Sorry, it's not. So, anyways. Here's the deal. I'm going to be going through a list of paranormal slash downright strange, don't know if it even happened experiences, okay? And they're probably not going to be in order, but I'll try my best. So, one of the first experiences I had was there was a candle on my mother's little table that she had by the couch that she used to always sit on and watch TV. And I would always hang over there. And I would always play with my, I had toy G.I. Joes and toy Star Wars people, and I thought that they should always be in the same universe. G.I. Joe and Star Wars. I always thought that would be really cool if they were in the same universe. But anyways, that's what I used to do. I used to play with my toys over there. Well, one day, the candle fell. There was a candle on top of the table, and it fell. And I looked over, and it fell exactly right side up, which seems almost impossible to me. And I went to go tell my mom, like, hey, look at how the candle fell. Like, it's really cool. And when we came back, the candle was back on the table. So, on a scale from demonic to angelic, if that's how you want to rate things, I would say that's a more angelic experience. It wasn't very demonic. Because if it was demonic, that candle would have burned the whole house down, right? Whole apartment that we lived in. So I think it was almost like there was some type of protection going on, you know? Where's the next one? Okay, the next one I can think of was, I had this toy, it was like an enemy of Wolverine, it was like Wolfman or something. He had like a fur coat over here and like really sharp brown claws and like a bloody kind of face with like a, you know, almost like an animal. And I had an action figure of this guy. And I had a comic book with him and everything. And at preschool earlier that day, I was playing in the sand with him because there was a sandbox. And when I came home, I was with my friend Michael, I think. Or my friend Izon. I think it was Michael. Maybe it was my friend Max. I don't remember. It was one of those three. But I think it was Michael. And I was playing with my toy, and then I sat him on the chair, and he started to spin around really fast, his legs and his arms and his head and everything, like he was almost breakdancing, and then he exploded, and all this sand came out all over the place, and my friend Michael was there. But to this day, I cannot accept that that was real. I don't know if that was real or not. It doesn't feel real. Was that the last time I saw that toy? I don't remember, okay? I don't know if that was real or not. I was very much awake. I definitely saw it. So on a scale from 1 to 10, I would say that was a more demonic experience, right? The toy blew up. I never saw it again. Next one I can think of was I was sick. And you know when you're sick and you like picture yourself getting a paper towel and a napkin and then you're like, oh, but then you wake up and you realize you didn't do any of that. You're like, I didn't even get out of, like, I was on the couch. I was sleeping on the couch. I was like, man, I thought I really did that, and I was just upset, and I was like, I keep getting up, but I'm not really up, and it was one of those stuck in between the veil kind of sicknesses when you're trying to sleep, but you just can't because you feel like you're awake, but you're not, and it was horrible. And I opened my eyes, and I saw almost like a spider. It was all black, and it was like moving like this slowly, and it was in the corner of the apartment. And it was like moving like this slowly in the corner of the apartment, like around, like a spider. But its legs were coming from above itself. And I just closed my eyes again because I didn't care. I was like super tired, you know. Um, so that would be a more demonic experience, right? Like that definitely wasn't an angel, right? It was all black. So. The next one I can think of was I was listening to Christian rock music. And this one is kind of important, I feel like. But I was listening to Christian rock music, and I was just trying to pick up on the lyrics. And I didn't know if it was Christian rock or not, because I wasn't paying attention to the lyrics at all. And it's interesting because this must have been some type of demonic experience, because it definitely was not angelic at all. It was, because it was trying to distract me from listening to this song. I could tell now when I look back on it, that's exactly what it was. I did not know that at the time. But I was listening to this Christian rock song. I think it was, not rock song, rap song. I think it was Tripoli. And I didn't know he was Christian rap. But I heard this noise underneath of the couch that I was on. And I was like, it must be my dog Rocky, because my dog Rocky always goes underneath the couch. So I put my hand under the couch so he could like lick my fingers, because I think I did that sometimes. And then like a tail came by and brushed my hand, but it was an all black tail, and it was definitely a dog tail. But Rocky's tail was not all black. It was black at the tip and brown the rest. So I knew that wasn't Rocky's tail, so I said, that must be Zeus, my dog Zeus, it must be his tail. But there was no way he could fit under there. So I was like, this is kind of weird. It's almost like there's a third dog in the house. So I walked out, I stopped listening to my music, and I walked out, and both of my dogs were outside. So there was no dog in the house. So that was definitely not real, but it was real for me. Like, I felt the tail, I heard the noises, I saw it. It was very real. It was tactile, it was visual, it was audible. It was like, this is happening. But there was no other dog there. So that was weird. What's another one I can think of? I'm sure there's some I have forgotten, and if I remembered them, I'd be freaked out. But, what's another one? I was trying to save this one for later, but I guess I'll just throw it in there now. I was at school early in the morning, and it was just dark out. I've told the story a lot of times, so it's kind of exhausting to tell it again. But it was dark outside, so there was no one there yet. It was probably around 6 in the morning. I got there early. I got there early every day. So I think it was like freshman year. Maybe it was sophomore. I don't remember. I don't remember which year it was. I think it was my sophomore year. No, it had to be. It had to be my sophomore year. Yeah, I think. And it was really dark, okay? And it's interesting because on the top of the building, there's these glass pyramids that they built with white lining on the sides, white metal to hold them together, but the rest was glass. And it's above the building. And that's very a Masonic way to build something, But that doesn't really mean anything, right? Well, on the back of every art door, there's a 1-point perspective that goes like this. And it's like a road going this way, but it makes a triangle. And these pyramids are on top of the art hallway, on top of the art building. And inside of the art rooms is a 1 point perspective. So it's like there's just a lot of triangles going on. You understand? And that doesn't mean anything either, right? It's whatever. None of that made me think anything. I didn't even think of that until later. But one of the pyramids on top of the building had a light going through it. And it casted a really black shadow of a pyramid all the way across the field. All the way across. Like all the way down to like the farm that we had across from school. So it was like a giant shadow that went like this. Like a triangle. Okay? And I was going to walk. I made this plan. I'm going to walk to the point of the shadow of the triangle. I'm going to walk all the way to the point. No fear. I just did not care. I was not scared at all, which is weird. It's not good. It's good to be scared because you know you're alive, but it's better to be courageous when you're scared. But to not be scared at all is kind of weird, right? That's not really normal. So I was walking down, and there must have been something with me for me not to be scared. I don't know. But I was walking inside of this big black shadow of a black pyramid in front of pyramids on a building, and on every art door is a pyramid, and I didn't think anything of it. I was like, whatever, I don't care. I didn't think anything of it. You shouldn't have to think anything of that. You know, nothing should happen like this. But anyways, there was a black ball. I sort of, oh, it's a ball. And I'll think, you know, maybe I looked at it for a second. I was like, what is that? And I said, it's probably just a ball. I was like, okay. And at this point, I started to get a little bit more aware that, like, I'm out here by myself. Anything can happen right now. You know, and so I just kept walking. It didn't scare me enough. I wasn't really scared yet. I was just aware. But then the ball, like, jumped a little bit, like that. And then it moved like this, and then like that, and then it came at me. It was really weird. It was like that. And it was going really fast. And I saw feet pick up under it. So I'm thinking in my head, this is like a raccoon or something. But I couldn't even see like a shine on its eyes or anything. It didn't even, like, it looked like it didn't even have eyes. And it was running at me super fast. And I was running, and I would drop my Gatorade. I threw my Gatorade back at it, and I ran, and I fell, and I broke the pipe lining for the garden at the school. And nobody knew it was me. I should have told somebody it was me, but I didn't want to have to pay for something like that. That's probably a lot of money, so. I fell down, a teacher saw me, and I threw off a bracelet, and I kept running. And I could only imagine what was going through this teacher's head, you know, like, why is this kid running? What is he running from, you know? And I looked back, and I didn't see it. So it's probably because my teacher was there. She did end up being my teacher. And it all connects. It's so weird how these things connect. And what I'll tell you, I will tell you further from now, it will connect even more. So anyways, this sticks in my head. I was listening to a song when this happened. I was listening to What Do You Mean by Justin Bieber. Not What Do You Mean, Where Are You Now? That by Justin Bieber. Because I loved the instrumental, and I think I was just listening to the instrumental on repeat because I really like the instrumental. It's like, it's an instrumental that really touches something deep within me. It doesn't necessarily feel like it's good, but it feels deep. And I like that feeling of deepness. So I was listening to the instrumental, and that's when everything happened. So I don't know if it was the song I was listening to or what. Maybe it was an overactive imagination. I don't know. But that happened again. I went to the same place, not out to the field, but out to the edge of the concrete next to the gym, in front of the field. And I shined a light from my phone at the field. Because I'm thinking, you know, you're not going to scare me, you know. And because that's what I do when I get scared of something. I always try to confront it. But I saw it again run at me. Like it was almost like it was a direct reaction to the light. Almost like it was trying to prove to me that it didn't care if I had a light. It was like trying to prove to me that it didn't care if I had a light or not. You know, it was going to come at me. But when I got into the light of the gym building, it disappeared. It wasn't there. So I don't know what that was about. But what else? I guess we'll just cut to the fat. So, anyways, I ended up being with this girl, right? I made a video called Why I Believe in Jesus. There's a lot of like, I hear a song and it's actually happening to me type of experiences that I had, where a song directly reflected how I felt or directly comforted me in my situation, and I felt like that was God talking to me. That's in the video Why I Believe in Jesus. That's in that video, okay? These are some other experiences. So there was this song called Riptide by Vance Joy. Now, I was depressing myself with songs that only made me think of certain things. I'm kind of, I have synesthesia to an extent, where songs make me think of colors. Why is my dog barking like that? Hold on a second. Okay, I brought my dog in here with me, so if you hear panting or noise, that's my dog. So anyways, it was like songs that only made me think of the color black, songs that only made me think of the color red, or only made me think of the color orange. Black, orange, and red, and sometimes white. Those were the only songs I would listen to, because according to the color of the song in my head, it puts me in a different headspace, it puts me in a different world. Like, all orange songs put me in the same place. All red songs put me in the same place. All black and red songs put me in the same place. Like, the song, I'll give you an example, like the song Rebel Yell by Billy Idol. That song makes me think of red and black. The song Plush by Stone Temple Pilots, that's black and orange, okay? So the song Even Flow, which is very similar to Plush by Pearl Jam, that makes me think of the color black. So I only listen to songs that made me think of those specific colors. The song Burn It Down by Daughter, that makes me think of white and red, or just white sometimes. So all those songs would put me in this very particular place that I associated with being a place where I could fulfill my desires, right? So I filled my life with those songs only. And I listened to Vance Joy, Riptide, and it's a song that doesn't make me think of any of those colors. It's a very colorful song. It makes me think of the beach or blue, or just the opposite of what other colors I was listening to. I know that sounds weird. Just please try to level with me here. And as soon as I turned it on, it was like, whoa. It was like I just stepped out of a steaming hot shower that I couldn't breathe in. It was like the air was hitting me. It was like a spiritual release of some kind, where I was finally like stepping out of the darkness. It was really weird. It was a really weird experience. And then everything started to just pop off and happen. It was like really crazy. Like my whole life took off like a rocket. It was crazy. And that's when all the God stuff happened. That's, it's really wild. That's where a lot of it happened. Not all of it, but. So anyways, I ended up coming into contact with this girl that I really, my main dream at that point was to just get back with her and talk with her about things, because I missed her. And then that happened literally that exact same night when I stepped out of the darkness spiritually. I know it's hard to follow what I'm saying, but please try to follow it. Anyways, one of her favorite songs is Riptide. And she told me that. And I was like, whoa, that's really weird. That's so weird. And I had a complete attitude change. I was in the dark. I was like, this is weird. And then I stepped into this other world where everything was like funny and fine. And he wants to leave now. But if I let him leave, he's going to start barking. So anyways, later on, I listened after I had my experience with her at least once. And then I listened to the song, and I was kind of worried about her because we didn't meet on the best terms. It was kind of like, we had fun together, but I knew by the way we met that things in her life weren't going that well. It was kind of weird. And then things got really dark again. Things got really dark. It was almost like once I released the darkness, it came back at me. It was really weird. And it was like I was kind of like being fought by this thing almost. It was strange. But I listened to the song, was it Spacebound or Lovebound by Eminem? Like a clear night in June coming right at you. Like a rocket in June coming right at you. That song by Eminem. That song reminded me of her. So I was like, okay. And then I would get more text messages from her while I was listening to it. So I was like, okay, maybe this song is like good luck. Because I kind of became superstitious at this point. I just wanted things to go the right way. I was desperate to an extent. And then I was sitting out front of my house, just wishing that I could see her again. Wishing I could talk to her again. Wishing I could just know what was up with her. And then the person across the street, who always listens to Eminem, started playing that song. And I was like, man, that's so weird. Because I just had a connection with this song, and now he's playing it across the street. This is weird, you know? So then, literally that same day, she put a comment under one of my YouTube videos where she wants to meet again. She ran away from home, and I bring her back to my place, and we wait for her parents to come get her. It was a whole big situation. We got lost. It was crazy. And on the way back to my house from after we got lost, there was a little sign. Hold on. And the sign said, "How does it feel to finally be free?" And to me, that felt like, man, I'm finally doing what I want to do. I feel like there's this spirit that was on me that's gone. It was like a really wonderful feeling. And to her, obviously it meant, and this is why I pointed it out to her, I said, look what it says. She was finally free from her parents' oppression, in a way. So it was a really beautiful moment for the both of us to see that sign there. And it's not there now. I don't know what happened to it, but it was almost like it was there just for us in that moment, you know? It was right on the tattoo shop. And it was like, this is what it feels like to finally be free. It was such a spiritual experience that I had with her, and I had a lot of them with her. I've never had as many spiritual experiences as I had with her. Who just texted me 3? I don't know what that was. But anyways, the whole thing was just crazy, you know? My songs in association with people, my people in association with songs, what they meant at the time. It all adds up. It all seems like it's very important to me. And I think the best is yet to come. And I know I have my hopes up sometimes, and I am optimistic, maybe even when I should not be. And I've been disappointed time and time again. But I think, and I really do believe, not just for me, but for everybody watching this, that something big is going to happen. You're going to get to do what you wanted to do. There's an energy coming to this planet that there's not going to be any room for darkness left. Everything's going to line up perfectly, because that's what light does. It lines things up. It arranges things in the right way. There's no going to be any more chaos. You understand? So yeah, that's the video. I know it was kind of mixed matched and spotted up, but hey, that's my whole fucking life. It's like that. So just some weird, deeply meaningful experiences to me. I don't know how meaningful they were to you. I don't even know if you understood a word I said. But please try to understand what I'm saying here, because I think it's very important, and I think it has a lot to do with your deepest desires, experiencing them. The spirit of the wolf. And that was another weird thing, was because I was watching KTF's videos. He's a reaction channel. I don't know if he makes videos anymore, but his intro was a wolf. And the girl said, dreams never die. I found out later that she said, heroes never die or something. But to me, it sounded like dreams never die, and it was a picture of a wolf. And I was like, that's so weird, because that's what I associate with the world that I was in before, was a wolf. And she says, dreams never die, while I'm looking at a wolf. dreams, desires, that makes sense. And I had a statue of a dragon on my shelf, and it was like everything I had ever wanted to happen happened. I don't know how to explain it better than that. The symbols that I thought about, the colors I thought about, the things I thought about all started to like bleed into reality. And then I ended up at this other high school. Well, actually, this was before. It was very weird. The whole thing was weird. It was like I was living inside of a dream. It did not feel real sometimes. And it was just weird. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it. It was a cool feeling. It was a beautiful feeling. But at the same time, it was kind of a threatening feeling. It was kind of a scary feeling. You didn't really know what was going to happen sometimes, you know? Well, my dog's barking again, so that's the cue. I gotta go, because he calls the shots. He's, the boss of the house. Just runs around, barks back and forth, so. Now, obviously, I'm the boss of the house, right? I love you guys. I know this was a bit of a weird video, but it's something I wanted to talk about, because I think now that we're in 2020, the roaring 20s, I think a lot of cool stuff's gonna happen. I really do believe that. And you have to believe it, right? And anything bad that happens is just a mere reaction of the positive thoughts that you had. And it needs to be the opposite of what you thought, right? So it's going to happen anyway. Just ignore it. Ignore the darkness, because it's slowly dying. I know people like to say that the world's getting darker and darker. I don't think that at all. I think the world is being injected with a lot of light, actually. I mean, you see all these things being exposed. You see the characteristics of light itself in the world that we're in right now. Everything's being exposed. There's a lack of war. There's a lack of death. All these kids that go missing are almost immediately being found. I'm super impressed with the authorities. It wasn't always like that. Kids would go missing. They wouldn't get found. There'd be wars constantly. It was bad. The world was bad. It's getting better. That good things are happening. All the bad things that were in secret are coming to the light. And that's exactly what the Bible said would happen. I think that also means in your own self, too. Anything you try to push down into the darkness will come back up. That's why you need to find ways to express yourself healthy, right? Anyways, I love you guys. I've said enough. I'll be back in a flash. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.